Okay, this is the next tutorial after the quantize tutorial, and this is where we're going to start actually programming the drums. If you watched the first tutorial, you know we have this quantize now to the grid. We've got it set where we want it, and we're ready to start with the drums. So the next thing is we need to insert a new track, and under effects we need to grab our drum core 3, which is what I use. I wish I had something better, but our drum plug-in. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to insert a new MIDI item. And the way to do that is you select the track that you want the MIDI item to be on. You left click and drag a selection, and then just go to insert new MIDI item. And there it is. And to get into the MIDI editor, this is just a piece you can move it around, but you don't want to leave it all the way to the left in this case. But to get into the editor, you just double click this, and there it is. Now over to the left, you'll notice these numbers. You can view piano roll if you want, but we want the names of the drums so that we know what we're programming. Drum core 3 came with a text file. It's a formatted text file that has the drum names in there, and we need to load that. So custom note names, load note names from file, and I have them set up here. It's just a text file. Double click, and there we go. And and so now we're basically ready to start. The way I normally do it is measure at a time, but if you're doing a verse, for instance, after you do the first measure, usually it's just the same thing repeated or something real similar. So you get the first one down and get your dynamics the way you want them, and then just you can copy and paste, and for the entire verse. And then if there's anything different, you can go change on those specific measures. But so to start off in this, now the song that we're doing here, there's actually no drums at all in it. It's just a hi-hat, but this will give you the idea. So the first thing I'll do is I'll do a closed hi-hat count in. Okay. And so we'll listen to this first measure. I'm going to drag a selection, and then I'm going to click here to loop it. And so it'll just play over and over, but this will give us a chance to re-listen to it. But I happen to know that these are eighth notes. So I'm going to click play just so I can hear what's happening. I'm actually going to turn the metronome off. All right. Okay. And so that's really all there is to it. Of course, this is only the hi-hat, but if you had other drums, snare, toms, kick drum, whatever, you do all of that, and then you could select it, and you could copy and paste, or if you hold the control key down when you have this selected, that actually makes a copy of it. So you hold the control key down, click the mouse, and just slide it over. Okay, and so you can do that And that really is all there is to it. Now, I know that's pretty simple, but, let's say, you had a snare and kick drum in there. You just... Let's see. All right. So you've just added the snare hits and the kick drum. And again, let's take this away. You can just select everything you did there, control, left click with the mouse, slide it over. And now you've got two measures. And you would just keep on doing that. So if you had, first 8 measures were that. What I'm going to do now is, instead of doing the control and sliding it over, I'm going to select this and say Control C to copy, click here, do Control V to paste, and then I can just continue to do that. And so now you've got the same thing throughout. And so that's really it. You just go through each measure and each part of the song. The good thing is, a lot of times each verse will be the same, each chorus will be the same. So it's a lot of, once you get one done, it's just a lot of copying and pasting. Now, depending on who it is, there's a lot of musicians who don't do the same thing, and so you may have to be in here doing a lot of different stuff, if you want to copy it exactly. But you basically go through and do the entire song that way, and you're set. It's not a lot to it. It's just a little bit tedious and time consuming, but once you get the drums done and they sound good, it's worth the effort. Normally what I do is I'll do the drums all on one track, drums, cymbals, everything. Then after I get everything finished, I will do separate tracks. I'll break those out into separate tracks so that the kick and the snare, hi-hat, cymbals, all that have their own track. Then I can EQ and pan or whatever I want to do individually on those. But even when I do that, I keep this original drum track that has everything on it. I usually just mute it and keep it in the file. That way, if something gets screwed up, I've still got the whole thing. And two, if you realized you made a mistake doing something, it's hard to fix it when they're all broken out like that sometimes. But that's it. I know that's pretty simple, and it is just a matter of doing it. When you first quantize a song and try to do this, you're going to think it's horrible. But the first song that I quantized, I said, well, this is ridiculous. I got to do something different. But after I did 2 or 3 and got the process down, it goes a lot faster. And now I don't even think about it too much. It goes really fast. But you do kind of have to persevere there to get through the first few. But so anyway, that is that. I hope that has been helpful. Just ask any questions that you have. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I'm going to do these first initial 2 and see what the response is, and then go from there.